Hey guys, welcome back again. So today we're going to be installing some LED driving light for my FZ-09. If you remember in the past, I actually installed driving light from CoLight, which thank you CoLight for sending these and for me to review. So today we're going to be installing them on the motorcycle, which can be also installed in any quad or any car for that matter. And these driving lights are very similar to the ones they had before. We're just going to be replacing the ones I already have and taking this for a spin and see what they're all about. So here you have the box. The box will come with instructions as usual. Instructions will tell you stuff such as what is the stuff that comes in the box, what are the different modes that are included on this light, which you can pair both of the lights, and you can also use the yellow in combination with the white in addition, or you can use them by themselves. You have a diagram of the wiring, so you know exactly how to install them, which I'm going to show you in a second, as well as how to assemble the lights. This is also some of the different ideas of where you can install these lights if you're installing them on a motorcycle versus a car. Now, if we take a look at this is the cable that comes with the system. So you see the switches and whatnot, which are pretty nice. And then you get the light itself, which this one has the bracket already attached to it, and essentially comes with all the hardware you need in order to install them on your bike, either on your fairing or any place on the frame. Box with additional hardware as well as some hex wrenches for your installation. Important to me to remind you that this is not a kit specifically designed for FZ-09, so this is universal for cars and motorcycles as well. So you're going to have to remove some of the fairings and some of the plastic so you can get exposed and look for areas that are suitable for you to kind of move around your cables and whatnot. So at this point you probably don't have to remove the fuel tank on a motorcycle, but in order for me to make it clear and easy for you to view, I've actually just removed it so that we have complete access to see everything in here, so you can be able to see the entire process. Before we start, I wanted to take a quick look and kind of put them side by side just so you can see the difference. As you can tell, the body is about the same, so I'm expecting this installation to go fairly quickly. I'm potentially going to be utilizing my previous installation guides that I have in here, since I already have them and I really love the place where they are right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and remove this one so I can install the new ones. So the first thing you want to do is to get familiar with your harness. So harness comes with fuses, and then comes with the connection with the battery with a fuse in line, and then that's one of the legs. Then it has these two that are the same, they're very similar, and these are the two that are going to be connecting to the lights. So these are the female terminals, and the male terminals are on the lights. And lastly, you have the remote, which I already kind of show you a little bit about how it works, etc. So now what I'm going to do is to find where do you want to route it, right? So first thing, I'm just going to find a place where this is going to live on the battery. This is not a final place. This is just so you can kind of start getting used to what we want to do. So in a very rough manner, I'm going to determine that I'm going to be putting the fuses on the box. I'm going to be putting the connections to the battery, close to the battery, just so I know I have enough length of cable. I'm going to be taking one of these connections to the lights to the right, and then the other one to the left, and lastly it's going to be the remote, which I'm going to be installing on the left side of the bike, very similar to how I did it on last time. All right, so installation is going to be very easy. I'm going to be reusing the same mount that I was using before, and so it required me to remove this from the previous light, this piece right here, which is going to be where this unit and this unit are going to be attaching. Okay, so I'm going to be running the bolt through here, and now through the piece that's on the bike, I'm going to be putting a washer and the nut on the other side. And on purpose, I'm going to leave it somewhat loose, just so I can, again, make sure that I can fine tune it once it's all installed. So now with the lights installed, it's time for us to route the cables through the frame. If you're routing the cables close to the engine, make sure that you're going to be using zip ties so you can keep them as close as possible to the frame. important in here that you're paying attention to the polarity, or the different colors. So these are the cables that are coming from the light, and these are the that are coming from the battery and all the module and the fuses and whatnot. So what you're gonna do in here is you can easily start with the red. Okay, so you're gonna insert this spade in here, then the black. Okay, and then lastly you can do the yellow, which in this case is going to be pairing with the white. Okay, it doesn't matter that it's not the same color, but it's the last one, by elimination, that you're going to be using. So I'm pulling the protective coating just to ensure that they're not going to be touching. And for now, for the purpose of testing this before I closed everything, I'm going to leave them like that, but then I'm just probably going to be putting a little bit of a tape just to protect, whenever they are in here like this, they're not going to be touching by any means and, causing any, short circuit or anything. Yeah, cool. All right, so this is the remote, and this is the one that we're going to be using to control both lights. So last one, it was wireless, and I had it, mounted in here by removing one of these bolts that is holding the actual clutch lever. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to do the same. I'm just going to route the cable on the back side, then just route the cable through the frame all the way to the back, like I did with the other ones. One thing that I found very convenient is the fact that I don't have to run the entire thing because it's already connected. So they actually provided this connector that you can unscrew, remove, run the cable, and then once you have your ends kind of meeting each other, you can then connect them again and kind of make them super tight. So what I'm going to be doing is just to remove the bolt again and then install it like so. That way I can continue having easy access to the buttons from the only place, which feels kind of normal because this is already where you have the high beams and the low beams, so it kind of all fits into the same place. So one of the most important aspects is just to get power to the installation or to the lights, which is something that we're gonna do now, and it is so simple. I don't know if you remember, but when I showed you the harness before, the one thing I really like about this system is for people that are intimidated by the fact that, hey, you maybe have to tap into power from the bike, to maybe you have to splice and maybe cut a cable and resolder a cable or something. If this is something that it's a little bit daunting of a task for you, this system doesn't require any of it. So the only actual installation is just to connect these two terminals to the battery, and as long as all the other connections are already in between the harness and the lights and whatnot, you should be good to go. So really good thing CoLight have going on in here, so you don't have to be tapping into other cables or whatnot. So I think it's pretty simple. If you're thinking about this is a great kit for you. As mentioned before, at this point, just connect your positive and negative terminal and you should be good to go. I don't know why I always get super excited when it comes to lights on my bike or whatever. So bike is not completely put together, everything is routed already and ready, but I haven't put like the sides scopes and whatever. I just want to wait for that and make sure that everything is working. So this is the first time I'm going to be turning them on, so let's just use the new buttons. I'll show them in a second and let's just give it a try. All right, I'm gonna turn them on, and I'm going to be pressing the one on the left, which I think is the one for the yellows. Whoo-wee! So of course this is still loose, so I'm going to be working on kind of making sure that they're working. And now I'm just gonna press the same button again, and they completely go off. And now I'm going to press it again and press the next one on the right. Okay, so now we're looking at white. Perfect. And now if I do, they go off if I press the same button again, and I can now do yellows with whites. Perfect. And I can then just turn off yellow, leave white on, and then vice versa. That's awesome. And then that's both of them together again. That's awesome. That's really awesome.